Let's get the Netherite Bee. First of all, we need to craft Netherite scrap or side powder, and then put it in a blast furnace, let it cook. And then in a brewing stand, we put it with mundane potions to get Netherite or side potion. Get 3 of it, craft it into a charm or side charm, which can help you toggle the effect and find ancient debris to get Netherite. Now we use a crushing factory and enrichment factory to make the most out of our ancient debris, so that we can have as much scrap and netherite scrap as possible. Once we have enough netherite, we can then start making the netherite bee. And we get 2 diamond bees, give them netherite blocks to make netherite bees. And just like that, we have our automated netherite bee farm. Likewise, if we feed a block of amethyst to a diamond bee, we get amethyst bee. And likewise, we create an amethyst bee farm. As I was exploring caves, I came across a deep dark biome. So I collected some skulk with my silk touch pickaxe and put it in a botany pot to farm it, to get more of it, as I needed to hopefully get some echo shards. To get better efficiency from farming it in a botany pot, I used the silk touch netherite hoe with the enchantment Curse of Idle Hands. I tried to use a skulk sensor with skulk to get a warden to spawn, but unfortunately I wasn't successful. So I resorted to making skulk bees to get skulk bee farm. And that got us echo shards. I used the echo shards and netherite to create an explorer's compass. I needed the explorer compass to find an ancient city. In an ancient city, I can find all the modium ore as well as smithing stone, which was my goal. First, with a brush, you need to brush a clay block found in an ancient city or deep dark biome. That's how I got it. Traveling around the biome and area, I found my first old Demodium ore, which I used to create ore side potions as well as upgrade my armor and tools. My next objective was to get perfect bee behavior. So first of all, I needed extreme productivity from a kamikaze bee. You get her by shooting yourself with an arrow or taking damage while wearing the bee nest helmet. The kamikaze bee would spawn and then you have to capture it. When you capture a bee, if you place it on top of a bottler and then squash it with a piston, you get squashed bee material, which in a centrifuge you can get the gene samples. The next bee is prismarine bee, and you get it by fishing in a deep sea ocean or deep ocean biome. Here, as you can see, I got 2 back to back, but it's not guaranteed. There's a chance that you'll get something else, or not the prismarine bee. Now, if we squash the prismarine bees, put them in under a piston above the bottler, we get their squished bee material, which in turn we can turn it into the gene samples. Finally, we need the Metaturnal bee behavior, and to get it, we need to lead some bees onto fences and have them stay out of their hive for 24 hours, or 1 Minecraft day, you could say. Like that, they will develop the trait of Metaturnal, which means that they're going to be producing honey or honeycombs for whatever material they're supposed to make all day, every day. Wherein naturally, they would only work during the day. And as you can see, here I collected the 2 ancient bees that have the trait Metaturnal, which means now I can start breeding them and squishing them to get the genes that I need and apply them to all of my bees. You apply the genes by crafting them with a treat and then feeding them to the bee. As you can see, as I fed the first ancient bee, now the second. Now these bees are ready to be bred and squashed. Just like that, we get our bees and we feed them the treat with genes. And just like that, we perfected their behavior. Now these bees have maximum efficiency. So I have my perfect bees here. They're breeding with poppies and outputting baby bees. These baby bees go into this chest and then back into a bee incubator. They get fed treats to become adult bees. And once they're adult bees, they go into this ender chest, which takes them into that ender chest, which put them in a dispenser or a piston on a clock to squash them above a bottler, turning them into bee matter. And bee matter gets sucked by the absorption hopper into another ender chest to be transferred here into a powered centrifuge, turning the bee matter into genes, which are transported into this gene indexer. As you can see, we have plenty of genes, which we can take and craft them with the treats to create a treat that we can feed to bees and change their genes. So for example, I have this honey treat. We give it these genes and then the rest of them. Just like that, we have a honey treat that is going to make a bee Metaturnal, weather tolerance any, temper passive, productivity very high, endurance medium. Which then, I can take the bees out, feed them the treats, and just like that, I change their gene types and behavior. Finally, I need a source of energy, so I'm going to be creating a generator with mechanism. We're going to be using a gas burning generator, so we're going to attach a sink to an electrolytic separator as well as a pressurized reaction chamber. Both of these blocks, they need water, so we connect water to them. And we need biofuel for the pressurized reaction chamber. So we put a crusher next to it, connected to a melon farm. The melon farm is supposed to output melon into the crushing factory, and the crushing factory will turn it into biofuel. Be sure to connect the melon output into a drawer with a void upgrade, just in case. That biofuel is gonna cause the pressurized reaction chamber to output ethylene, which is the input to the gas burning generator, which is the source of power. Make sure that everything is powered so that it works perfectly. This whole system requires power in the first place to create power. Also make sure that you output your power from the gas burning generators. Now the pressurized reaction chamber, it takes biofuel and turns it into ethylene, but it also takes hydrogen, which you're getting from the electrolytic separator. Make sure that you have the module or the block to dump excess. Make sure that you're clicking that so that the excess oxygen is being dumped. Just like that, you create hydrogen, output it into the pressurized reaction chamber, and then create ethylene. One pressurized reaction chamber can output, first of all, substrate, but also it can feed enough fuel into 11 gas burning generators. And just like that, you have a mechanism generator that can provide power to you, to all your needs for early and mid games and all the mods 10.